Hello, today is Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. Today I had an arthroscopic rotator cuff repair. It was now 12 hours ago, and what was done was I had my supraspinatus tendon that was completely ruptured, so the doctor reattached it to the bone, and he also removed some bone spurs on the underside of the acromion process. That's that bony arch that goes over the supraspinatus tendon. The surgery took 2¼ hours. The doctor was happy how it went, so hopefully my recovery will go well also. So I had watched a lot of YouTube videos before I had this done, so I got the professional advice obviously from the nurses and doctor, but I also wanted to see what people's experiences were of this. I can't say enough how helpful that was, and I thank everyone who has posted about their experience. It really has helped me. So I figured I'm going to pay it forward and show you some things that I've done that I think will be very helpful for myself and then hopefully you moving forward as well. So the first thing is very simple. You notice my splint is black, and the gentleman I watched online said that he always wears black t-shirts. Well, he then later said he was getting bumped all the time. So what I've done is I've got a colorful shirt, I've got some lime colored shirts as well, yellow shirts that I'm going to wear while I'm wearing my sling so people are less likely to bump me. Another thing, I have to have an advantage because I used to be a physical therapist for 18 years. In school they taught us if people have had shoulder problems and they don't want to get bumped, use a cane in your opposite hand. People tend to stay away from people who have canes. I will be doing that when I go out and about. So that's two things so far. Now, if we look down here, this is a metal clamp I got at a hardware store. You can probably get it at a lot of hardware stores. I paid about $32 for this, and I've attached it to a piece of furniture in my dining room using some grip material that I folded up to give it some bulk, and now it's going to protect the wood and it's going to give a better grip of this vise. And what I can do with this part is I can tighten it up, I can open letters one-handed, I can open bottles, I can open various things as long as they pretty much have a squared off shape. If it has a round shape, I found that the object will rotate. I have something in another room that I can show you later that does help to open round shaped objects as well. But for square objects, this will do the trick. So now what we're going to do is come over here to the dining room table where I eat my meals, and here we see this thing. This is a silicone floppy heat pad, but I noticed it's textured, and silicone I know is very grippy. So I've put it on here. I can put my plates and my bowls on here and they won't slide away. If I'm using a bowl, I've got the side of the bowl to push against to get my food, and then I've got this to keep it in place. Really helpful. Cost me $2 at Christmas Tree Shop. I'm sure you can find them in many places. So that's another thing. Next thing, let's go to the next room. So far, this object right here has been my most useful object. This is called an E-tack cutting board. E-tack is spelled E-T-A-C. It's also known as a Swedish cutting board. I only know about this because at my last job, it was my responsibility to do some things with it. So that's very helpful, and now I can use it for myself. It's designed for people specifically who have only one hand to use for many various reasons. So what does this board do that a regular cutting board won't do? Well, first of all, it has 4 suction cup feet. So if you have a smooth counter surface, like I do, mine's granite, but other types of surfaces are smooth and flat as well, so no texture, your suction cups will help keep your cutting board in place, which is very important. Next, this is amazing. This is a clamp that has a ridged rubber surface, and it clamps down against these 2 posts here. So you can put vegetables, fruit, you can put, like I took a to-go mug, a plastic to-go mug, and I couldn't get the top off one-handed. It was one of those snap tops. I put it empty between this clamp and its posts, and I was able to get the snap cover open. Very handy. And notice when I push down the clamp closing thing, it brings it forward a few millimeters to help snug up the grip. Really handy. Over here, what we see are a series of 9 metal posts. What this does also is allows you to cut, fruit, vegetables, loaf of bread, what have you. You just put it on here and you just go away. You can even put it through the clamp here, line it up, and go to town with one hand. So really useful. I can't say enough for it. Was there anything else? Oh, let's see. Yes, come with me. We're going to go to the next room. Let's point at this. So this here is a Breg Polar Care Cube. There's actually numerous brands of these kind of items that exist in the marketplace. I have this simply because somebody was willing to give it to me for free because it was sitting in their closet. People tend to use these, what some people simply call ice machines, and they might need them for 2 months, 3 months, and then they have no more need for them. So you can very possibly buy a used ice machine. And so many people told me you must get an ice machine. I thought they meant something in the freezer for the refrigerator, but no, that's not at all what they meant. They meant one of these, and I'll show you what it's all about. So for this particular brand, you take the top off, and it's got a nice rubber gasket to keep a good seal, good tight seal. Inside, you see water, and you also see, what's interesting is 4 16-ounce bottles of water that have been frozen. Everybody online says put frozen water bottles in, have 8 handy because it takes 4 at a time, and then you always have frozen ice available. Otherwise, you're making ice cubes, and that's a bit of a pain. You don't want to be doing that when you're working one-handed. If you're eventually home alone. So that's very convenient. Even if you're with other people, they appreciate it as well. Now, you close the top. It's got a good, strong seal. And it's also built like a cooler, so it stays cold a good 6 hours or so, people are saying. I haven't, because I'm first day, I don't know yet. We'll find out. Next, we have this tube that comes out of it. So inside this tube is actually 2 tubes. One is an outflow tube of the cold water, and one is the inflow tube back to the device. So you have a continuous flow of cold water that feeds to a pad attached to the end of it that goes on your joint that needs the coldness. Here you attach it. You can see there's some straps here that come generically. This is called hook and loop material. You guys are all familiar with it. I'm not going to say the brand name, but you're all familiar with how this works. Kind of like how burrs stick to your clothes. That's how that attaches. So that's really nice. You can get a lot of nice cold. You do want to, I just want to repeat the care instruction for yourself is make sure that you have cloth to protect your skin between this pad and your skin, because you can get frostbite, and you don't want that on top of the problem you already have had surgery for. So I'm losing my voice. That's another thing that happens with getting general anesthesia. You tend to have a hoarse, sore throat afterwards. So just something to be aware of that you may not know. And people are telling me it'll last about 3 days and I'll get my voice back. So let's go back to the original starting room here. Oh, one more thing. Let's point down at this and let's get a look at the cheerleading section over there. Well, she's the cheerleading section. Okay, so what we have here is called a long handle reacher, and that's very handy because one-handedly you can pick up items you may not want to. You can get those for about $10 in many places. I highly recommend them. I own about 4 of them all over the house. So once again, this is my first day, the day of surgery. Pardon me. I still have my nerve block affecting me, so I'm still numb, but I am taking my medication. It's going to be probably a different story once I have the nerve block stop working, and we'll see how it is. But I'll try to post every few days, let you guys know how things are going. And I wish you all a lot of luck and hope your surgery goes very well for you also. Thank you.